Hi everyone, welcome to Lucy's List. I'm Lucy. So 3 years ago, I moved to Beijing and called it my new home. The reason I moved to Beijing is I want to live somewhere with a very rich history. And today, I want to tell you to the place that I think embodies the Beijing history really well, which is the Hutongs of Beijing. Let's go. So, there are 4 interesting facts I want to tell you about the Beijing Hutongs. Number 1 is the name is of Mongolian origin. Can you believe it? Hutongs already have 700 years of history, and it started in the Yuan dynasty when the Mongolians were ruling over here. The Hutong means water well in Mongolian language. It actually means Hutong in the Mongolian language, and interestingly, these Hutongs are scattered all around Beijing for actually 7 centuries long. And I want to give you a bonus fact. Ta-da! Look at these electricity meters. How many meters there are means how many households lives inside this courtyard. So we can see that 3, which means 3 households live inside this building block. The second fact I want you to remember about Hutong, which is Mendang and Hudui. These ones here, Hudui, a household pair, and Mendang, the doorway knot. If you look at the shape of these stones in front of a doorway, you can tell what the people used to do when they first lived here. So for example, this one has a shape of a drum face, a round shape, and that means these people over here used to be a member of the army. This one has 4 mendang. They're called mendang. They are the knots that sticks out on top of the door. And if you have 4 over your heads, that means this household used to be quite high ranking. So when you combine all this together, you can tell that this household used to live someone who is from the army and is a high-ranking officer. This is the nest of a sparrow. If you have a sparrow on top of your house, it actually symbolizes good luck because a sparrow doesn't come to any household. The third fact that I want you to know is how are the Hutongs named. I used to find these names really bland and not creative enough. However, the names of Hutong were passed down by word of mouth, so that's why they're really easy to remember and also very direct. If you go to different Hutongs, some of the Hutong are named with the notable person lived in there. Like Yang Meizhu Hutong was named after Lady Yang, who was a very famous matchmaker, and some Hutongs were named after the landmark that is in there. Also, some other different ways to name a Hutong. For example, you can name it according to its structure, like a 9-twisted Hutong. You can name a Hutong according to its function as well. For example, there is a Hutong which is called Yancheng Hutong or Sheep Market Hutong. So that's 4 different ways to name a Hutong. Okay, so number 4. What are Hutongs like now? Check this out. Beijing postcard. This is actually one example of new Hutong shops that's being opened by hipper or younger crowd. Actually, the Hutongs nowadays have 2 types. One type is still very residential. You can see a lot of households. You can see people, especially the older generation, having a very communal type of living situation together. And there's another type of Hutong where the people rent out their house to people who are opening workshops or opening different types of coffee shops. And these Hutong are very hippie as well. So especially this one, it's very modern. So the locals' attitude towards Hutong went through a transformation as well. I was told that before the 2008 Beijing Olympics, actually China and especially Beijing went through a period of rapid economic development. And back then, a lot of people wanted to move out of the Hutong to go into a newer and cleaner and more renovated type of high-rising apartment so they can live more comfortably. However, after the Beijing Olympics, the people start to realize that their day-to-day living, their local way of life is actually worth preserving. They're becoming more and more confident and more loving towards their old traditions. So a lot of people actually moved back to the Hutongs, or a lot of expats that I know first moved to Beijing would love to live in a Hutong house for their first local experience. So these were 4 facts that I wanted you to know about Hutongs. No matter how times change, Hutongs will always be at the heart of Beijingness. And next time when you come and visit Beijing, I wish that you can come and appreciate the magic of Hutongs as well. Thank you. Bye.